Hi guys, today I want to talk a little bit about two things. The first thing being how I take care of my chickens in the winter, which is I'm in Wisconsin, and right now it's 6 degrees with a real feel of -11, and tonight it's supposed to get down to -8 without the wind chill. The second thing I want to talk about is the talk everybody's been talking about is with the Tractor Supply feed, because I want to talk a little bit about my experience, the mistakes I made because of the feed, and I want to make sure other people don't do the same thing as I did. So first, with the cold weather, there's a number of things I do to keep my chickens okay during the cold weather. First of all, I give them extra food. So they have some scratch I throw them. You can see they're over there pecking away at it. I give them some sunflower seeds in the morning. I'll give them a little tray if I have any kitchen scraps, anything like that. One of the things I do is save any grease from when I'm frying meat, and I mix it with oatmeal, and you can probably throw sunflower seeds or anything else with it, and it's like making your own suet cake. And then I give them a portion of that, and that's really good for the chickens in the winter because that extra fat helps keep them warm. I don't use any heat lamp because um, they really don't need it. After they get their feathers, after their chicks, they really don't need a heat lamp anytime after that. We did have friends that always had a heat lamp on their chickens, and the power went out for a whole week in the winter. Well, now their chickens are used to having heat all the time. They didn't have heat, so a few months later, their chickens started getting sick and they started all dying. So you don't want to put your chickens in that circumstance where they're used to having that heat, and all of a sudden something like a power outage happens, and now you have no way of providing that heat to them. So this is a chicken coop I got from Tractor Supply. It's small. I live in town, so I can only have so much. So on the inside today, I made sure they had all really dry bedding. Everything's nice and clean and dry. I threw some pine shavings in with some straw. It's pretty clunky right now. I just threw slabs of the straw in there. The chickens will take care of that for me. They did on the bottom too. I also added a lot of extra straw on the bottom just so that way their feet don't get so cold. That way they're not on that snow and that ice that goes in there and it melts. This way it helps keep their feet warm. Now in the back of the coop, where their nesting boxes are, I added a little extra bedding and stuff too. Keeping a clean coop also helps you keep clean eggs. I do want to show this. This is what I do with this coop, because otherwise all the shavings, all the straw falls out, and if it falls in here, this door doesn't want to close right. So all I did is take some beer cases and I cut them down to size and I put them in there, and they last for a couple months before I usually have to change them out. The other thing I do for winter is I have a heated water, and that's down here. I just want to show you my little hack for the plug, because the first year I did this, that plug would get buried in the snow and the ice, and it was a real pain to get out every time. So now, I just took a Tupperware container, I cut 2 slits, you put your cord in, you put your cover on, and there it's protected from getting any chicken poo or anything else like that out. And it's easy to unplug and replug in. Now, with these heated waters, I do notice if it gets really, really cold and gets into the negative temperatures, you got to watch it. Some of the ice on the top will freeze. You'll have to break it open. But for the most part, that keeps the water available for the chickens all winter long. Now, the second topic I wanted to talk about, Tractor Supply food. And I'm sure most of you have probably already heard about it, but I've just recently heard about it. Unfortunately, last summer I had 4 different chickens, and they stopped laying. And they stopped laying for a long time. And I thought, okay, so maybe they're just at the point where I'm not going to get eggs from them anymore. And it kind of just stopped just like that. So we gave it a good 5 months or so. Still no eggs. Well, I grew up where when you have animals like this, they're there to provide something for you. If they don't provide something from you, it's time to go. So we ended up butchering our chickens so that we could eat them. Well, now we got these chickens, and they were young ones from last year. So right now they're at the age they should be laying all the time. They should be laying 4 eggs a day. Yes, in winter sometimes they, chickens will slow down, but first year layers, a lot of times they don't. Well, I was finding that I was getting 1 chicken a day or 1 egg a day, sometimes 2. I'm like, okay, I should be getting more than that. Well, then I started hearing about this food from Tractor Supply, and I'm like, I wonder if there's some truth to this. The more I researched it, the more I'm like, probably. So what I started doing about last week sometime, I started supplementing their food with some more sunflower seeds, old yogurt. Like if I had expired yogurt in the fridge, I started throwing that to them. Although in this kind of weather, it would freeze right away, so you gotta wait for a warmer day for that. I also read supplementing with their normal feed if you give them some cat food. So I bought some really cheap cat food to just give it a try. I think I paid $2.95 for this bag. And so I just supplement that with the feed and I just give it to them. Since I started doing that, I've been getting I've been getting 3 eggs a day now. So something is going on here. So this is the feed I've been buying. This obviously will be my last bag of this. I don't like wasting, so I will use it up, but I'll keep supplementing anything I can to make sure that they get the protein they need in order to lay eggs. I feel really bad that I butchered my chickens. That probably wouldn't have needed to be butchered at that point yet, but I guess life goes on. The other thing I want to do, I've been doing some of my own research on making my own feed. So that is something I want to do in the next week or so. When I do that, I'll probably post another video and let you know the outcome of what happens with my chickens. So if this was informative for you, please subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time.